You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard.
Oh, I can't believe that even worked.
When is it going to start, and when is it going to stop yet?
It's going to start on April 15th.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to stop for years.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to hear, Jet. Future's so dark, I got to put on some shades. I got to put on some nuclear containment shades for what's ever about to happen to these people.
Yeah. You look like OG Keemstar right now. It seems like AI is a smokescreen. Are we walking into a brave new world?
It sounds like a $14 comment, dude. I don't think you need to worry too much. I think the AI stuff will be used for whatever they can use it for online to silence dissent, manufacture consent. But I don't think that at the end of the day it'll still be humans pulling the levers. This system, it doesn't seem to have much strength left in it. All this stuff is like the gender stuff, the computer stuff. It's all this foam that sits at the top of the hierarchy of the crumbling structure of civilization.
Did you see?
Oh, I like this one because it's some big lawyer who came there to make a stink. The story that's going around, that's the Madison Square Garden facial scanning. Yeah. They used facial scanning detection to kick a lady out with her child, and it's this big dystopian. Oh my God, they're scanning women, mothers with their children. They're scanning the faces. Yeah. The woman they kicked out is this lawyer who has like sued Madison Square Garden like multiple times. Like she's going there to start shit and like find some reason to sue the venue. Yeah. Which is like, she's lucky they didn't like build a sniper automated gun turrets, and she's a fucking ambulance chaser making headlines because they flagged her they caught her at her up to her little tricks.
But they still did use facial scanning tech to get her.
I would use facial scanning tech to get her. If you're one of the biggest venues in the world and you have these lawyers coming around sniffing up your ass trying to make some problem, you would absolutely have facial scanning cameras. You'd have to. Yeah, it's dystopian. It is. Well, whatever. Everything's dystopian. Art Deco is the most fantastic style. It's everything that's good about traditional beauty in a classical sense, and it's everything that's good about forward-looking things that are progressive, things that are optimistic about the future. It's like the best of both worlds. It's also the American style. It's the style that a great building in America should be in. And it's I think it's a lot of the style that was in like BioShock. Yeah. People like to believe, like Redditor atheist types like to, that's an attractive world, that BioShock world, because it's like, look at this greatness that could have been, but it was all twisted and perverted because we're humans and we're all ugly inside, and capitalism. And that's why Art Deco is like a backdrop for failed greatness, failed empire. And what people are uncomfortable looking at is like cities like Detroit, and just the greatness of empire that was ruined by you know what, and we know what, and it has nothing to do with capitalism or or ugliness living inside people or anything like that. It's greatness that we could easily that we did attain and we could easily attain if we had the political means and the willpower, and it's greatness that we will attain again. But the future,
I mean, it's not possible to survive the onslaught. It's kind of not, is it?
No, I think that this is the churning of and chaos of the world has always been the case. I think that's been the case for thousands of years. I think we're fine. There's no such thing as an empire that lasts forever. It's never happened before.
The two reproduction rates that were negative were Germany and Japan in like 2008 when I read like a little bit of economics books.
The reproduction, you don't like
that?
That's a meme. It's a Malthusian
like prophecy thing. I don't.
Just a
I don't buy
gaslight.
it.
It's an excuse.
He predicted that there would be a total collapse of the world. This is in the late 1700s. That because population growth would overtake the ability of farmers to produce food.
Yeah.
The human mind has a negativity bias. Like if you think there's a tiger in the bushes, you're generally safer than if you think there's not a tiger in the bushes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like it's safer for humans just to be negative. So this is like a thing that plays into that. This type of stuff, like saying that AI is going to overtake whatever, it's also salacious and like it just has it has a hotness to it. Like global warming stuff. Everything is humanity and the planet are both, they're the opposite of fragile systems. Like a fragile system would be the more you sort of shake the foundation, the more the output goes to the extremes. But I think that like the planet specifically, like the ecosystem is the opposite. It's like it's very difficult to disrupt the homeostasis.
Milk master, I've been developing necessary discipline and ambitions in my early 20s, but I still feel immense anger at my stupid and unaware peers. How can I manage my deep and hateful rage?
Realize that you're posting on the Rick and Morty subreddit right now? That's fucking 20-year-old guy syndrome. My peers, they're idiots. They don't get me. Like, why, like, you know what I mean? Everybody who's got, like, is probably, I mean, I'm describing myself, but only child, gifted, precocious. Like, it falls right in line, you know? I'm just mad at society.
Yeah.
That's just a total waste of time. That's the wrong track to be thinking down. That's not going to help you. It's just dead end. That's a dead end. Just move on. Get past that. X that out. Anytime you start thinking something that's even like that, that's in that vein, just exit out. Go on to the next thing, you know?
I think the older I get, the less I get triggered by libtards, you know what I mean? And now when I say libtard, it's like just fully a joke. Like it's not even, it doesn't have any sting to it anymore. It's like,
no, same.
Have you ever seen the accounts that like role play as like conservative boomers on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
it's like that's kind of how I view politics now. Like that's, I feel that like when I'm calling someone a libtard, I'm channeling like Jimbo Davis, 55 Patriot. You know what I mean?
Channeling Marty.
Yeah, Dark Marty gang. Shout out Dark Marty Army.
When I was younger, I used to draw the divide politically a lot, but as I grow older, I find myself looking more for ways I can get along with people rather than hate them and argue with them.
It's not worth it, man, because on any political thing, you're not going to agree with the other person.
No.
It's like, it's already cooked. Like, no one's going to convince each other. You might as well just try to find some common ground and just enjoy a conversation with somebody or something. These democrats.
If the money collapses, you know, when we hit hard times, I think these problems are going to be less. The problems that you think are the bad problems are going to be less bad than you think they are. The only thing you can do is just take care of your people locally and try to have build a support network and be a solid person for the people that depend on you.
One thing I was thinking about recently is that your world is only as big as you allow it to be. And if things are screwed up, you could just withdraw and limit your scope.
That's the main mistake
and pull back.
That's the big mistake that people make is they assume that you're supposed to use the same thinking and all the same like criteria, perspective, all the same stuff that you use for your Dunbar number, which is the 150 people that you can remember their faces.
Yeah.
You're supposed to apply that to the world, and that somehow it's like a lot of big brain people get it into their heads that somehow it falls upon you to solve the problems of the world, which is not the case. You are pretty helpless to change any of this, and like the degree that you are able to change this stuff, it involves becoming strong, generating and preserving wealth, being a stand-up like local person, not having opinions online. Like it's the opposite of the thing that you think will solve it is the thing that you could do something to solve it.
Like eventually you reach like an asymptote. Like you reach the top of the curve. You don't need to fill Japan with 2 billion people. Like it just doesn't. You don't need to do that.
No.
And I think that it's a big problem because of essentially fiat currency. Like we are buying today at the expense of future generation, we're not even paying for our parents' Social Security. We're paying for like our grandparents, so like our grandparents' retirement. Like our Social Security and the sort of benefits that we are promised in old age, those are paid for by our grandchildren with fake money. And if the future generation isn't bigger and the GDP isn't climbing, then you have this like inability to pay for stuff. But I don't think that's necessarily such a huge problem. It just means that like poor people are going to die.
Do you really believe there's 8 billion people in this realm here? Do you believe that?
Yeah. Have you ever seen pictures of India?
Yeah, but that's
I wouldn't call them people. I would say like biomass.
Well, according to some, I don't know, scriptures, I guess, there's only 144,000 real souls that aren't NPCs in this world.
That sounds really
Doesn't it sound
more
right?
appropriate. Yeah.
Well, that sounds about right. The elect.
That's crazy.
Isn't that scary?
Cattle.
They're all in Israel.
Yeah, we're
Boy.
Worrying about Discord use. Every day long on, the closer you become like Audrey Hale.
Stay out of these places, guys. Over socialization, okay? Be careful. Be careful. Get out of there.
I mean, if you torture people long enough, they'll tolerate anything. If you torture people long enough, then they lose their will to fight wickedness. That's why it's a slow burn. It's the magnitude of the deal that everyone's made of it that is concerning. That's even more concerning in some ways. Because no one complains like this when it's kids that are younger. People complain more when it's a 17-year-old over a 17-month-old. F everybody is what I'm saying. Like it should make you very, very nervous that no one goes to bat for children. But everyone will shoot they'll blast holy heck on the world forever. It's rap. That's the first initiation. No, people get that? You don't need a cloning facility. All you have to do is abuse people until they're crazy, and then you get a golem on your hands. Don't people know this by now?
The lights that are in there are these very old. The only bad part is they make a buzzing sound. It's a really bad buzzing sound that I don't mind. And the light that they emit is so strange. It's like some of them are orangish, some are green, and the lighting is when you turn them all on at night, it looks crazy, and it's really good.
Keep them, yeah, you won't be able to.
Old style like street lights.
Yeah, did
Halogen
I
lights?
turn those on for you in the new office?
No, I haven't seen that.
They're like, I think they're like street lights. Like they're orange. Some of them are orange. Some are green, and it looks so beautiful.
That's one thing that's like completely lost to modernity is like the old street lights.
Yeah.
With the orange, like at night, I remember being a kid.
Yeah.
The streets were like orange.
Yeah.
Or they were green.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like intentional, but it was just the bulbs they were using. And
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Sodium
there's
lights.
one street on it's in like the RISD area that still had those orange lights like last year.
It might be Benefit Street
I think it is.
because it's like a historical area. They might not have updated them.
They updated them this
They
year.
did. Oh, that's a f***ing
And
shame.
it really with me because I love
Yeah.
it's like gone. You can't find that. You had
Well, they have to put cameras
I
in
gotta
them.
show you because the lights in the new office are like magical.
Yeah.
They're so. But the only problem is they buzz mad loud.
Oh yeah, they hum.
That's fine.